The world lost two people today that were, in my opinion, on the wrong side of right. And I dare you to disagree with me. Let's talk about it. So, the first one I'll tell you now, the last one I'll give it to you at the end. So, Diane Keaton passed away today. Tots and pairs from me, just tots and pairs, because she was a R-word apologist. She was someone who stood by someone who was accused of assaulting a stepchild or a child, and you can go and read all those details. What I'm going to do here is go over a really interesting article that I found that was in Vanity Fair, 10 undeniable facts about the Woody Allen essay allegation. As someone who was a survivor or is a survivor of the essay to DV pipeline, I take this stuff very seriously, and I strongly believe that when a child says that they were abused, you better listen to them. So here we go. Let's look at the 10 facts, shall we? Fact number 1, Mia never went to the police about the allegations of SA. A lot of us know why people don't go to the police. Hell, I know why I didn't when I was a child. I also know why when I was a mother of in that situation, why I didn't go to the police when I knew that my former husband was doing what he was doing to our children. They are safe. I did protect them. I am gone, and I've been doing my best to stay away. So I'll just put it like that before y'all try to drag me in the comments. But he was a cop. So when you were dealing with the person in power, what's the point in going to the cops? A lot of us know that it does nothing. It does not help you to protect your children or protect yourself when you're dealing with a powerful person. So do with that what you will. Let's go to the next fact. Fact number 2, Allen had been in therapy for alleged inappropriate behavior toward Dylan. Dylan was a child, with a child psychologist before the abuse allegations was presented to the authorities or made public. I know from personal experience, and a lot of us know, unfortunately, the hard way, how this thing works when it comes to a person who is abusing a child. A lot of state services and programs will try to rehab the parent and will try to force the parent-child relationship to stay intact rather than remove that parent who is causing harm to the child. Don't know why it's that way. I personally think it's because we're in a patriarchal society. Even therapists, oftentimes, unfortunately, without hard proof, evidence, and facts, as in like somebody was in the room when it was done and recorded it or something crazy like that. Yes, therapy will happen and things like that to try to rehab and help the abuser instead of help the child. All right, let's keep moving. Fact number 3, Allen refused to take a polygraph administered by the Connecticut State Police. There's only one reason why you're going to refuse. There's only one. Oh, but there's more. Okay, so fact number 4. Sorry, I'm trying to move me around here. There was another fact connected to this. Let me go back, and I'm going to paraphrase instead of pulling it up. But the other fact was that he did go and do his own polygraph from a independent company that he hired. The court did not decide to go ahead and take that polygraph. But what do abusers and narcissistic people do? They always want to be able to present their version of the truth. They always want to control the story. So of course he's not going to take a polygraph. Again, I'll just insert some personal experience from here, which you could say makes me biased. I don't really care. But I'm not the only one. I am not the only one that has these experiences. I remember the ex-husband who was a cop. I asked him to take a polygraph before I would allow our young children to be alone with him again. And he refused to take a polygraph. Yeah, why would they do that? Why would they do anything that would have revealed the truth? All right, so next fact. Number 4, Allen subsequently lost 4 exhaustive court battles, a lawsuit, a disciplinary charge against the prosecutor, and 2 appeals, and he was made to pay more than $1 million in Mia's legal fees. So here's something that a lot of people learn when they're in court for things that an abuser, for acts that an abuser had committed that they may not be able to get criminal charges for way too many reasons. Although they may not be considered criminally liable, that does not mean that they are innocent. That just means that there wasn't enough, or there was something that happened or didn't happen to where there was enough for them to be criminally charged, which I think that this court system is so freaking corrupt, but that's a whole nother conversation. However, that does not mean that they are innocent. So if there is enough evidence to show that they really they were probably liable, then yes, you can still sue. You can still sue in civil court. So it looks like that's some things that happened here. That there was enough to show that he probably was guilty, but just not enough to allow him to get some criminal charges for whatever reason. So he still had to pay some legal fees, and he still had to be liable some kind of way. All right, let's go to the next fact. So fact number 5. The courts found that Mr. Allen's behavior toward Dylan, the child, was grossly inappropriate, or the judge found, excuse me. Sorry, that part's cut off. But the judge did find that his behavior was grossly inappropriate and that measures must be taken to protect her, as in the child. So here's some of the things that the judge actually stated and told Allen. Do you have any extra charges? So the judge told Woody Allen, "You looked at her in a sexual way. You fondled her. You don't give her any breathing room. You look at her when she's naked." This is what a judge said to him. So I don't quite understand why that's not enough to be criminally liable. These are things that I'll just never understand, why the children are not protected more in courts. However, this is a fact. So let's keep moving on, shall we? And I'll say this as well. This is someone that Diane Keaton decided to be an apologist for, to stand beside, to defend. Okay? So fact number 6, Dylan's claims of abuse was consistent with the testimony of 3 adults who were present that day. All right, let's move on to the next fact, shall we? Fact number 7, the Yale New Haven Hospital Child Sex Abuse Clinic's findings that Dylan had not been sexually molested, cited repeatedly by Allen's attorneys, was not accepted as reliable by the judge or by the Connecticut state prosecutor who originally commissioned them. That kind of sounds like what happens with a person who is able to afford to create their own alternative facts. Let's keep going. All right, I'll just say this. I am not trying to promote any cosmetics. I'm just doing this pretty quickly and don't really know how, or don't really have the time to figure out how to remove that in the center. So maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Yes, my skin is amazing, but obviously I'm not doing an ad for them. So let's keep going. So the Connecticut State Police, going back to fact number 7, the Connecticut State Police, the state attorney, and the judge all had serious reservations about the report's reliability. Fact number 8, Allen changed his story about the attic where the abuse allegedly took place. All right, so fact number 9, the state attorney said publicly that he did have probable cause to press charges against Allen, but he declined due to the fragility of the child victim. Sadly, again, I know all about how that works. I had a relative who did disclose that a man who is her biological father essayed her. However, she declined to show up to court and to go through with it because it was really messing with her mental health. And so he was able to get away with it because she was not mentally prepared, and she could not go through with actually testifying against her own father in court. So he has always gotten away with being the monster that he is and always has been. And I wish I could say more about that, but I'm going to leave that there. But some of you know exactly who I'm talking about. And yeah. So fact number 10, I am, this is basically the writer, the person who created this article. She's saying she's not a friend of Mia Farrow. Yes, you can have that, honey. She's not a friend. And so she's basically, I guess, just asserting that she's not trying to be biased with this at all. So the person who wrote this article is Maureen Orth. So here's a fun little Easter egg. The singer from Lostprophets was today in prison. He actually R-worded a baby, and he was a big time pedophile. So this comment just came in and I want to highlight it and say thank you for Liwi for commenting and being the first one. So it says, thank you. I've been seeing all these videos where people are absolutely devastated over her passing, as in Diane Keaton. But she was vocal and she was ardent. She was an ardent supporter of Woody, as in Woody Allen. I just could never look past that. Well, you're not the only one, Liwi. A lot of us cannot and will not. We will not look past that. And other people, they choose to. So there is a section of society that believes in trying to make a demon a saint and all of a sudden trying to push people into sainthood just because they kicked the bucket. And me and my vibe tribe, we don't do that. The truth is the truth, whether you're alive or you're passed on, the truth is the truth. And we're going to stand 10 toes down in that truth. And we're not going to lie. We're going to keep telling the truth and shaming the devil. Like them old church folks used to say when I was growing up, and those old great aunties and stuff. We're going to tell the truth and shame the devil. Your legacy is not just the good stuff. Your legacy is everything. Your legacy is also some of your deepest, darkest moments and what you did with it. Now, some people's legacy can include some really horrible things, but then they may have atoned for it and they may have paid their debt and they may have decided to evolve from that. But if you didn't, I'm not that person that's ever going to stand up in the church funeral and lie about you and just focus on the good and that's it. Damn that, because you didn't when you were alive, and I'm not either, period. Like, I just assume just not say anything, but what I'm not going to do is lie. She was a person who defended a person who committed horrible offenses against a child, and some people can say that it's a sickness that you are attracted to children. I don't know what it is, but if it's a sickness or not, but one thing that I think that most of us that have good sense can agree on is that is evil. It's vile. And that you choosing to act upon those desires when you know that it's wrong and you know that you're harming a child and you know a child cannot consent, that is evil. And it should not be ignored or looked over. It destroys not only one life, but it destroys that child's future, their mental health. It oftentimes wrecks the rest of their life. And then they go on to oftentimes wind up destroying another household, and it contributes to the I can't say the word right now, degradation of our society when you do that. So if you are defending a person like that, then damn you, because you're just as bad. You're defending one, then you're just as bad as the person who committed the act. You can go to hell as far as we're concerned. We're in a society right now that has put a pedophile and has put a vile person in the White House, which says a whole lot about more society than I ever thought I was ever going to have to face or admit. That we got a lot of sick ass people on this rock, a lot of sick people, and seeing them come to light and seeing them have their time to shine means that we got a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. Those of us that are light workers, those of us that are truth tellers, we got a lot of work to do because we can't let them win. And one way that we let them win is when we stay silent and when we try to gloss over all of these things. Damn that.
Y'all, I'm officially a YouTube partner and I just launched memberships. Join my community for exclusive perks like behind-the-scenes content, custom badges, and shout-outs. Hit that join button and let's level up together, because we're just getting started, baby.
It's a cultural divide. I'ma get it on the floor.
You really about to do it?
40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
You really about to do it?
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
They get on it like that.
Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like fuck. Must have on a beat, bro, beat, bro.
So, the prices had to go up because of tariffs and shipping costs, but you know what? The value is still there. This is a whole mantra, not just a mug. So get your copy today, and thanks for your support.